Every day I see another marketing guru telling service business owners to do things that would absolutely destroy their business if they actually followed through. But there's something even stranger going on that no one's talking about. The most dangerous advice? It is coming from the creators with the biggest followings. And after 10 plus years of seeing what actually works for real businesses, I'm calling and today I'm naming names. My team pulled together some more of the most popular marketing TikToks, some solid, some straight up delusional, and I'm gonna break down exactly what advice is gonna help you grow and what could quietly kill your business. All right, let's start with our first one.
I got 2 million views on TikTok this week and I ignored all the usual advice. So here's a list of all the things that you're supposed to do, but almost certainly just do not matter if you're trying to grow on TikTok or anywhere else in social media. Firstly, hooks. People are obsessed with hooks and hook templates. Good hooks don't save bad content. Just say your thing, put the most interesting detail at the beginning, you're done.
That's bad advice right there. Hooks are very important for a reason. You gotta bring people into your content. So the way I do my YouTube videos, I carefully script. Like most of my videos are pretty scripted. This isn't because we're just kind of talking here, but most of my videos, I very tightly script them, especially the hooks, right? That cannot meander, that cannot beat around the bush. It has to just go for the most important thing that someone wants to know in this video. It has to set the stakes. And if you don't have that planned out, what's it gonna be, right? And maybe when we're talking about TikTok, it's like the mentality is, okay, we're just gonna put 5 or 6 of these things out a day. Some will hit, some won't. But I would rather spend twice as much time on the hook and then get twice as many views on my videos. So to say that that doesn't matter, the content will speak for itself, not so much. That's just lazy content creation.
Gen Z is destroying the sales funnel.
Oh, totally. They broke that assumption that purchase happens very linearly from awareness to conversion. A lot of brands don't realize that social media has become the hub of existence for all these users who are younger, who are more tech savvy, which means that brands need to continuously be on social to reach wherever these consumers are living.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on advice. So basically, she's right. The whole funnel as it was like 10 years ago, it's not that way anymore, right? People are on all these different platforms rather, and they need to see different types of content that meets them where they're at, whether they're, problem aware, but not solution aware, or if they're most aware where they know that they actually need to hire somebody. So the best thing you can do is create all that different type of content. And it doesn't have to be linear, right? You don't have to think about the order you're making it in. Just make all the different bits and pieces of it. And then these social platforms are really good at serving to the right person what they need at the right time. So let's just say if you're on YouTube, you want to answer FAQs that people might have before they're even ready to buy. Then you might want to have some comparison videos of, what you offer versus an alternative to that. So you're hitting them up at every different stage of that journey. So that's really smart.
Who here knows how to grow a business in the simplest terms? Only 2 things you can do. You sell more customers, you get them to pay you more. That's it. Literally, there's nothing else. If you're thinking, how do I know if what I'm learning is worthwhile? 1, as long as it's related to business, it'll probably help you. But 2, you just have to ladder it up. Is this going to help me get more customers, or is this going to help me make them worth more? If you're like, I want to develop this big website. Okay, how is that going to get me more customers, and how's it going to make it worth more? Does the site on its own, the rebrand with the new logo, going to get me more customers? No. Is it going to make them worth more? Maybe tangentially. You can make an argument that anything could potentially make you money, but it's the opportunity cost of the thing.
Okay, so this is good advice too. So what he's saying is you gotta think about everything you're doing, right? It's really easy as business owners to get caught up in the flash of the moment, right? Whether it's a new social media platform or, you're just thinking, you know what? I'm sick of my website. I've been looking at it for 5 years and I'm sick of it. Fair, if you want to redesign it for a purpose, right? If it's actually outdated, if it's actually not saying what it needs to say, then it will get you more customers if you do it in a better way. But if you're just approaching it from an I'm tired of it personally kind of mentality, that's kind of the kiss of death with a lot of marketing efforts for small businesses when they're doing it for themselves. Because you got to keep in mind, your first-time customers who are coming to your website or coming to your social media, they've never seen that before from you, right? So you've been looking at it for 5 years, they haven't. But I would say in most cases, a lot of websites from 5 years ago could probably deal with a refresh. And when it comes to social media, You just have to ask yourself, right? If there's a new platform that drops tomorrow, I don't care if everybody and their mom's talking about it. If it's not going to serve you and your customers aren't there, don't bother with it. Keep going with what you've already got going, assuming it's working for you.
I still don't send emails. I probably should. It's a very good ROI path. But I don't do it because I always have these other things in front of me that I know will work that will also make me a ton of money. And so the idea is just always looking at what's the trade? What do I get the most bang for the buck on? And it has to ladder up to getting more customers or making them worth more.
Okay, cool. So it's just simple matter of there's only so many hours in the day. You can only really concentrate on so many things before you're diluting yourself. So yeah, focus on what works. If you're doing something and it's not working, then it's time to maybe call it and move on to something else, but in a smart way, right? You gotta figure out exactly where your customers, where are you gonna do the most good in terms of communicating your message, you know? Sometimes that could be YouTube. Sometimes it would be a podcast. Some businesses love Pinterest if it's very visual. It has to make sense for your business. Don't get scattered across everything.
If I was restarting right now, I would just be posting TikToks daily. Not even thinking about the results, not even thinking about views, not even worrying about anything. Just posting daily as much as possible, like 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day.
Okay. Couple things here. So first he's talking about the specific platform, right, of TikTok. There's nothing inherently wrong with TikTok. My biggest problem with it is I think that if you're gonna be doing video, I think there's a better way to do it, and that's long form. Short form content is great for entertainment. By the way, I'm sure there are some people who are seeing really good success, selling things with TikTok. But think about it. People need to spend about 7 hours with you before they feel comfortable buying, before they feel like they know you. And that's really what video does. That's the secret sauce of even going on video for marketing in the first place. So think about how many, TikTok someone needs to see of you before they add up to that 7 hours versus think about YouTube, right? If you're making weekly content that's 10, 15 minutes long, if you do that for a year, you've got enough content for people to really spend a whole Saturday with you, and that's where the sales happen. So the other part here, this is going into Gary Vee territory for me, where he's saying you gotta post 6 shorts a day. You'd be so much better served putting all that effort into one longer video, but you don't even wanna do one a day. If you're doing YouTube, you wanna focus on maybe 1 a week, maybe 2 a week, no more, because what happens on YouTube is if you were to put out a video day after day after day, each video kind of steps on the progress of the video before. So what I like to do is just 1 video a week. We played around with doing 2 a week. Didn't really see much benefit there, to be honest. So I think 1 a week's good. He's talking about making 30, 35 TikToks a week. What if instead of that, you put it into one really good idea, you did a good 10-minute video on YouTube. You're gonna get so many more clients that way.
Eventually, a video is going to go viral, and it's a game changer.
Okay, so let's talk about virality for a second. And I don't know what this guy's deal is. I don't know if he's just trying to make money from ad spend. I'm talking to you as the small business owner who's trying to use video to actually get clients with. Virality is overrated when it comes to getting clients. What you want to do is get in front of the right people at the right time. I would rather see you get in front of 100 of the right people than go viral with 1 million views that are just scattered across people who have no interest in what you offer. So it's so much better to be, go at it with a scalpel rather than a chainsaw.
Here's how you go viral on any social media platform of your choosing. And no, it's got nothing to do with camera quality, microphone quality, or anything like that, although it can help. First thing you need to know, going viral is all about top of funnel marketing content. That means it's the beginning of your customer journey where people first discover you, which means your post cannot be about selling. Heck, your post shouldn't even be about your business, technically.
I'm gonna stop right there. There's really good advice there. First, she's talking about virality. We just covered that. It's not necessarily the end game. But the first time people see you, absolutely should not be about business. You should not be selling them anything. You should be helping them out, meeting them where they are with a kind of a DIY solution for something, or just advice, something along those lines.
Content needs to be all about your audience. Now, there are 3 specific rules that we live by when it comes to creating viral content for our clients. Number 1, the content must be either controversial, relatable, aspirational, or it can be a mixture of all 3. There is no sales call to action. It is not about selling anything at this point. Number 3, it has to speak to universal themes, whether that's love and relationships, success and failure, adventure, life and death.
Okay, I mean, this is good advice if you're really truly trying to go viral, right? But again, I think you're better off to be a little more targeted. So rather than just talking about general relationships or health, it should have really strong overlap with what you actually sell, what you actually charge money for. That's gonna get you in front of the right people. I don't care how many people you get in front of, as long as they're the right ones.
Steal these 3 controversial hooks that are guaranteed to get you more views. Number 1, I'm so sorry, but no amount of money could make me do X.
I'm so sorry, but no amount of money could make me hang out with an ugly dude.
That hook will tend to work better if you say something a lot of people do. Number 2, if you're X and you still do Y, you need to Z.
If you're an adult and you are still eating like a child, grow the up.
And then finally, number 3, 90% of people are gonna hate what I'm about to say next, but
90% of you are either gonna hate or dislike or not care about what I'm gonna say next.
Try these out and make sure you're careful when you're using these.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with any of these. I mean, they definitely feel a little bit more TikTok than YouTube, for sure. But yeah, go ahead and try them. I mean, as long as you've got a good hook that calls out the benefit of why you wanna watch, or just the stakes of why they wanna watch the video or consume this content, that's good enough. Try them. Let me know how they work.
Landing pages are dead in 2025, so here's what you're going to do instead. It's not because marketing is changing, it's actually staying exactly the same, but the way that people consume marketing is changing. Because we've become such a video-centric world, you have to have your main focus on your landing pages be video instead of text.
Okay, that's interesting. You guys know me, you know how much I love video. I talk about it all the time. And there's nothing wrong with putting video on a landing page either. I think it can work well. But I've seen the data myself. Like I've had videos on landing pages, on sales pages, a very low percentage of people watch them on a sales page. I've got several videos on my various sales pages for my courses. They don't get a lot of views on them. So I think video is perfect for that top of funnel marketing, right? They find you on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, wherever it is. That's how they find you. But then once they're on your site, that's when they want to do a little bit more digging in. That could be video, sure, but I think you really also have to have very good sales copy too. I'm just saying I've seen the data myself, like how many people buy my courses versus how many people watch those videos. I can tell almost 90% of them are not watching those videos. So doesn't mean don't have it, just keep it in perspective.
And because people are more informed than ever, you need to go beyond informing them that they need a CPA or a lawyer. You need to actually tell them what it will look like to work with you.
So that part is true. So let's say we're having text or even video on a landing page. You don't want to just tell them all about you, hire me, we're the best. That doesn't work. But yeah, if you say here's the results we're going to get you, that's hero's journey stuff. That actually works. So she's spot on there.
Founder-led content performs the best. Founder-led content is doing the best. You need to do founder-led content. Okay, but what if you don't want to be the face of your brand? What if you don't want to be in front of the camera? What if you want to start the business and do a whole different role and you don't want to be in the content?
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. Founder-led content, yeah, that's basically, again, you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're the face of the business rather than hiding behind the business, right? This works so much better today than any other kind of marketing. So, you just being out there, solving people's problems, helping them out, and then that just you casually, lead them back to your website where they can work with you. I get so much pushback though, in the comments from people saying well, I don't want to be on video, so how is this going to work for me? Can I just do a faceless channel? Or can I hire an actor or actress to be in my videos? It doesn't really work that way. And I'll tell you why. So first of all, if you were to do a faceless YouTube channel where you're just not in the videos at all, no one's gonna watch those videos. Hate to say it. I can count on one hand the number of videos I watched, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. If I turn on a video and I can quickly tell it's just gonna be either that AI voice or just B-roll and music or something, I'm out of there so fast, right? People wanna connect. They want to feel like they're learning from a real person. As soon as you can tell it's not a real person, it doesn't work anymore. And the same with hiring someone to be your spokesperson, basically. Couple problems with that. What if that person quits? What if they get a big head and they think that, they can call the shots and then you have to get rid of them, suddenly all those views are out the door, right? So you want to keep it in-house. As the business owner, there's no person better positioned than you to be in that seat. And sure, if you feel uncomfortable on camera, welcome to the club, like everybody else does too when they start. So it's just about getting comfortable with it. That only comes from practice.
I don't want to be dramatic, but this could be the difference between whether you succeed or fail in your business. And it all comes down to one thing. Now, before I tell you the one thing, you might not like it. You might not like it because a lot of people don't, but it's essential. When you go to the website of a business, whether it's like Nike or it's I'm
gonna stop for a second. Watch what she's doing here. Like, this is great storytelling. Like, I'm very sucked into like what she's about to say, and I have no idea where it's going, but do you see the power of just kind of getting real and just like, listen guys, like this is the real deal, rather than just like kind of being a presenter on camera. I'm gonna keep going.
Manifestation coach on the internet, it doesn't matter. You're probably gonna be met with a pop-up or at least something on the website asking you for your email address, maybe your phone number. Why is that? It's because businesses know that it's super profitable to build an email list. It is where the money really is because you're able to connect with and talk to your customers on a different level than you are on social media. Also, a lot of people actually go to their inbox to shop to look for their coupons and see what the deals are and find out what people are selling. And not only that, but like, you don't know what's gonna happen to social media.
Yeah, so I mean, this is good advice. We've heard it before, right? No matter how much I talk about email marketing or people like this talk about email marketing, there's a lot of resistance to it. I think a lot of people think, okay, but why would people check their email for deals or coupons or promos or anything like that? I happen to think that maybe they don't, but that's not the point of email marketing, right? Email marketing is not to sell. It's to keep helping, right? And then every fourth email or so, then you can go for the sale of like, hey, if you like what I'm showing you, you want to go even further, faster, how about scheduling a consultation? I'd be happy to help you, right? And if you're wondering if it's actually still effective to do that, the answer is yes. I just had my last promotion for my course last month, and I sold more than I ever have via email. So the opinion that email is going away, it's only gotten stronger for me in my business, and it's not just me, right? People do still check their emails. Yes, if you're just blasting people with promos, they're gonna unsubscribe pretty quickly. So it's not about promos, it's about giving them more content. So again, if you're making weekly YouTube videos, you email them every week and say, this is what this video is gonna help you with. You're already interested in this kind of content, this kind of help, watch it, and then they get brought even further into your world. And then again, every fourth email, you sell them on something.
If you actually want to create sales from your content, educational content is officially dead. Now here's the thing, you're gonna look at me and be like, Savannah, you create educational content all day on TikTok, what are you talking about? Here's what I mean when I say educational content is officially dead. 3 years ago, you could get away with posting educational content all day long. That was what people wanted. That was how people consumed content. That was the kind of content that would create sales because it generated a ton of authority and trust with people. However, flash forward 3 years, the way that we consume content, the content people are looking for, the way that people need to be sold to, buyer behaviors, consumer behaviors have changed significantly. And because of that, just providing value doesn't build trust anymore. In fact, most of our clients, when they come to us and they say they're not seeing sales, it's because they're just consistently posting educational content. The reality is that in order for someone to buy from you, you actually have to sell to them.
Okay, so that's true. Remember how I just said you'll do like 3 emails and then you'll sell them on the 4th one? Very true. Like, you don't want to fall into that trap of someone just thinking, this person's just gonna give me free advice forever, on YouTube. And then I've literally had people call me. They've like found my phone number and called me to ask me questions for free. That's too far. Like, that's not what I'm here for. Actually, if you want one-on-one help, you have to pay for that. So what you want to do in your content is, it can be as easy as just telling stories, right? I helped a client with this and here's the results we got. So you're mentioning your clients, you're mentioning results you got for them. That way they start thinking in their own heads, okay, this person actually works with people and charges money for it. maybe I could be one of those people, right? So really smart. You've got to lay that foundation just kind of passively. Then you can get even more direct. Let's just say you're on YouTube. So you're always telling those clients stories. Then at the end of every video, it's like, hey, watch this video next for this reason. But then every fourth video, you can say, hey, and by the way, if you want my help, click right here and schedule a consultation. You definitely do have to be strategic and not just be seen as the person who is going to like help them for free forever. All right, and we're just getting warmed up. So click here to watch even more marketing advice TikToks where I weigh in and let you know what you should follow and what you better ignore if you want to actually stay in business. So click right here and let's keep this party going.